Shalom. Salaka Shalom. This is Truth is Everlasting. Lion's Den. I am Yahweh Sap. I camp out with Lion Den, Hawan Ben Yashua in Jacksonville, Florida. But first I have to do a prayer to the Father, to the Son, to the elders, to the Akim, and to the women and children around the world in Paleo-Hebrew language. Ka Halayim Ba Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ha-Rokah Kodash Mahamah, in the name of Yahweh Shai, in spirit and holy and in truth. The honors to the 144,000 chosen elect, the honors to the elders of GMS, the honors to the elders of Lion's Den. Salutations to the Akims who are on the four corners of the earth, and to the women and children's Shalom. The Spirit been moving me to do a lesson about Cuba. Being that I got to live in Miami, right, and have met and have Cuban friends, even here in Jacksonville, right, and learning the truth of who I am from the tribe of Ephraim, finding out that Manasseh is a brother of Ephraim. So it says here, a few crises in Cuba cripples, right? No truck to pick up the garbage, no electricity for light or water, no food, okay? But it's not only Cuba's going to get hit like this. This is what's going to happen also here in America as well. Also, Puerto Rico as well, okay? A lot of Caribbeans are going to go through as time goes on too, because of the beast system they're going to bring in if you don't bow down to it, right? But anyway, the title of this lesson is called Cuba, the tribe of Manasseh, and Puerto Ricans, Ephraim. So go to the lesson, and then go to the video, and then after that go into the lesson. So here we go.
In Havana, once known as the Pearl of the Caribbean, the scene has changed completely. Piles of garbage line the roads. Foul odors spread through neighborhoods after sanitation trucks were forced to stop operating due to fuel shortages. The problem is not technical, it's political. According to Cuban government sources, more than half of the garbage collection fleet is now out of service.
So when they say it's political, they really is talking about it's religional, if that would exist. But it's about religion, about belief, okay? Slovakia.
What remains cannot move because diesel is unavailable. Residents are sending out desperate pleas for help.
Mucho basurero. Y ahora con el problema del petróleo, más todavía.
Authorities in Havana place the blame on the United States, describing the situation as a suffocating economic blockade that is preventing oil from reaching the island. Venezuela has halted supplies, and Mexico has pulled back out of fear of US sanctions, leaving Cuba with almost no fuel. And that's not all. Nearly 11 million Cubans are now facing severe shortages of food, medicine, and energy as a humanitarian crisis continues to deepen day by day.
Okay. So it keeps getting worse, in other words, right? But this what happens when our people give the finger to Yahweh and Yahweh Shai and go after other religion, paganist religion, just like Puerto Rico. Ephraim is big into brujeria, santeria, right? Christianism, right? Mormonism, and other wicked religions, when we're not supposed to be going after religion, because it's not about religion. It was supposed to be about our culture that was only given to 12 tribes, the so-called Negros, Latinos, Americans, and speckled birds, not to the whole world, right? I want to go to Proverbs chapter 1 verse 2. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding. You're not going to get that through going to a Christian cemetery school. Okay? I don't care how many years you spent at the Catholic Church, that my mother and my father and my grandmother and my grandfather, and that the church been there since the day they were born. Okay? Verse 3. To receive the instruction of wisdom, justice and judgment, and equity. Equity, a right, claim, or interest existing or valid in equity. Right? In other words, you've been bought. You are owned by Yahweh Shin Yahweh Shai. No Catholic, no Christian or isms or whatever other religion or government for that matter. Right? You are Hebrew Israelites from the 12 tribes. Okay? Let me go to Proverbs chapter 2. I'll start with verse 1. My son, if thou wilt receive my words and hide my commandments with thee. Okay? Verse 2. So that thou incline thy ears unto wisdom, and apply thy heart, meaning thy mind, to understanding. Verse 3. Yea, if thou cries after knowledge, and lifted up thy voice for understanding. Verse 4. If thou seekest her as silver, and searchest for her as for hid treasures. Right? If you're not going to go after the wisdom from above because you fell in love with the wisdom from below, well, look what is brought to the item, right? More destruction. The good news is that you can still repent and do his will. The Father's name is Yahweh, and the Son's name is Yahweh Shai. Verse 5, then shalt thou understand the fear of Yahweh, and find the knowledge of power. So, things are going to get worse everywhere. Okay? It's not only Cuba. Things are going to get worse also in Puerto Rico. And it's going to get real ugly and real bad here in so-called America. Okay? I want to jump to verse 9. Then shalt thou understand righteousness and judgment and equity. Yea, every good path. Yeah, you will gain understanding because you're going to the camps where the elders and the archons are doing the work in the name of Yahweh Shin Yahweh Shai. Right? This is the program that Yahweh the Father sent his son Yahweh Shai to teach our people. If you want to get out of this madness, out of this kingdom hell that is not our kingdom. Okay? Verse 10. When wisdom enters into thy heart, into thy mind, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul. Yeah. Then he will guide us because we will trust in Yahweh Shai. We will have faith in the name of Yahweh Shai to help us, to guide us. Okay? I want to go back to Proverbs chapter 1, verse 4. To give subtlety to the simple, and to the young men knowledge and description. Subtlety, the quality of being dedicated, understated, or difficult to detect and analyze. Yeah, you think, because you got a college degree, because I'm intelligent. Yeah, you're blessed, you're gifted, But if you don't know who you are and you want to keep insisting that you're Cubans when you're not, you're from the tribe of Manasseh, your great great grandfather is Joseph, right? And if you don't repent with fear and trembling in the name of Yahweh Shai, you're not going to gain that understanding in that direction. I want to go to Proverbs chapter 9, verse 4. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. As for him that wanteth understanding, she says to him, get ready. Verse 5, come eat of my bread and drink of my wine, which I have mingled. Right? So you're going after false, artificial bread, artificial belief system of this wicked world. Right? You want to be like America. And you're finding out that that does not work. Okay? Verse 6, forsake the foolish and live. Go in the way of understanding. Right? The Bible only belongs to 12 tribes, not to the whole world. Not to all the churches in the world. It doesn't even belong to the Pope. Okay? It only belongs to 12 tribes, the so-called Negros Latinos, Native Americans, and speckled birds. I want to go back to Proverbs chapter 1, verse 5. A wise man will hear and will increase learning. A man of understanding shall obtain unto wise counsel. And the only way you're going to do that is when you repent. Then Yahushua will guide you to the elders where they are at camps. You see? Just like when you went to school to learn the wicked ways. Now, I just saw a video where Jamaica, all these Cuban doctors that were doing so great in Jamaica, Jamaica has to send all of them out of Jamaica. So they were making, Cuba has the best of the best. Cuba and Puerto Rico, right? The best of the best doctors and nurses that go around the world, Latino part, okay, of the world, helping and teaching, that's going to be cut off. So things are going to get worse. But things are going to get worser also here in so-called America for its wickedness that has done around the world and to our people. I want to go back now to Proverbs chapter 9, verse 9. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. Verse 10. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy set apart is understanding. We might look like everybody else, we might walk like everybody else and talk like everyone, but we've been called in the name of Yahushua, right? To prophesy and to feed the sheep day and night, okay? We are not, we are in the world, but we are not part of the world, okay? I want to go back to Proverbs chapter 1, verse 6. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark saying. Verse 7. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. And that's what our people who don't want to repent, Yahweh the Father and Yahweh Shai the Son, our King, our big brother, 10 feet tall, dark skinned with an afro, calls you a fool, right? stiff neck. Okay? Hell, I forgot what verse it is that my elder was doing a lesson. He will call you even scums because you don't want to, repent. Right? Now don't misunderstand when I'm reading this. 2/3 of our people ain't going to. That's because Yahweh Shai don't want 2/3. Okay? He kept a track of they're the same ones that did what they're doing today. They did it in the past. Okay? So he's keeping them for the lake of fire. They will come back to the new kingdom, right? They'll be saved, but they'll be saved through fire and come back in the new kingdom as babies. I want to go to Job chapter 28, verse 28. Give me a minute. And unto men he said, behold, the fear of Yahweh, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. You don't know what evil is if you don't repent and call out the name of Yahweh Shai. You will not gain understanding to know what good and evil is. You'll be guessing. That's what you'll be doing, playing the guessing game, right? I'm gonna leave it with song. Let's see which one it was. Song on 111. I'll start with verse 7. The work of his hands are verity and judgment. All his commandments are sure. Now, when it says all his commandments, we cannot, it is impossible to do them in this wicked world, which is not our kingdom. Okay? We cannot do the 613 laws. Anybody that's doing the work of Yahweh Shemshai and say that you can, walk away. Quick, that line. Okay? We can only do some. Like we're going to get ready and do Passover. We do that every year. Okay? Sabbath. Right? You do that to the best of your ability because sometimes we have to go to work. Right? But to do the 613 laws, no, we don't have a perfect body. We have a sinful body. On top of that, okay. Verse 8. They stand fast forever and ever, and are done in truth and uprightness. Right. Verse 9. He sends redemption unto his people, the so-called Negro Latino and speckled birds, not to the whole world. He has commanded his covenant forever, holy, set apart, and reverent in his name. Woo! His name is not Jesus, man. That is Caesar Borgia, son of a pope. Long hair. If you want to give him blue eyes or brown eyes or black eyes, that is Caesar Borgia, right? Who likes to wear high heels and who probably was in his era also part of the Epstein file, right? Because you got to understand, talking to my people, the so-called Negros, Latinos, and speckled birds, it is the Edomites, right? The Caucasians, the so-called white people, that brought this homosexuality, right? And let's not kid ourselves. It's out what they do. They don't hide it no more, right? They eat human flesh, right? They eat babies and they drink blood, right? And they're the ones that have been going around the world robbing, raping, and plundering and beliving people, right? Dramatizing our people for generation from generations. You see? The only way you're going to come out of that drama abusiveness is in repenting in the name of Yahweh Shai, and he will heal you. Okay? I'll leave it with verse 10. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endures forever. In other words, repent and he will forgive you. Right? I hope that this was edifying. And with that, I'll say, Shalom.